people. I think we have stopped laughing long enough to introduce ourselves. We're Lady Janies. There's Brody. Say hi, Brody.
Hi, Brody.
And there's Cynthia. Say hi, Cynthia. Hello. And I'm Jody. And you might know that we have a little book called My Lady Jane.
It's a big book.
It's big. It's actually very large. I pulled a muscle carrying it around the house. So. And we thought we would read a couple things for you out of the book. So we had some of our readers give us random page numbers, and we are going to share them with you. Okay, Brody, the first one is for you. Tiffy and Jenna want you to read something from page 87.
Okay. Let's see, 87. All right. G stamped his right hoof on the wooden floor, hoping the lady would understand the simplest of horse signals. Change back so you can speak to me, Jane said. Please. But to G it sounded like wah, 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 for all he could focus on was the smell in the air. Done.
And scene. I love it. All right. And for me, Suna would like me to read page 125. Okay. A little context. They're heading off to the honeymoon, and they heard screaming, and they've stopped in the carriage. My lady called the driver, echoed shortly by Gifford, but Jane didn't stop running until she was well ahead of the carriage and standing on a prominence overlooking a wide field where, on the far right, a single cow lowed in bovine terror. That's it. I just love bovine terror.
Bovine terror.
we all love that line.
Bovine terror.
I was like, oh, bovine terror. Bovine terror. What does that sound like, Jody? Can you give us your impression of the cow lowing in bovine terror? Or there's a side cow, never mind. I don't know. Scared cow. I hear like the Monty Python, like the moo. Okay. Cindy, you. Who? For you, Cindy. Oh, okay. Lauren would like you to read from page 197. So Edward has just helped a girl escape from a bad farmer. That's all the context I'll give you. He changed, still naked. The girl looked at the ground with a stifled smile and held out the cloak. Edward grabbed it and put it on, which was loads better than the horse blanket, but still left him feeling exposed and drafty. Thanks for your help, the girl tucked a stray black curl behind her ear. I'd have gotten clear of him myself, but it would have been messier. So you're a chicken thief, Edward said. Among other things, she admitted. He'd never met a common criminal before. He would have found the whole thing wildly exciting if he wasn't so tired of things being so wildly exciting. Brody.
Mm-hmm.
Several people would like you to read from page 394. That's Mara, I can't read my own handwriting, Miriam, and one of the Barnes & Noble accounts.
Okay. Let's see. The map Archer had given them was easy to follow, and the journey was short, but G couldn't figure out if it was really short, or if it only seemed short because he was dreading killing a bear.
For you, from Gretchen, 422. 422. Did you know, he said after a minute, that Mary Queen of Scots is a mouse? Of course. He glanced up at her, startled. You knew that? How is it that you know absolutely everything? I'm a cat, she confessed. She smelled tasty. Poor Mary. Okay, I've got one from like 2 separate Sarahs, maybe multiple Sarahs, maybe more than that. I don't know, there's a lot of Sarahs in my life. Page 23. Jane has just got the news that she's about to get married. To whom am I engaged this time, she asked. Lady Frances smiled, mistaking Jane's reaction for acceptance. To Gifford Dudley. Gifford who? That's it. Gifford who? Alright.
Cynthia from Sumi, page 98.
Okay, so this is when Edward is considering changing his will, sort of, to make Jane the queen after he dies. Queen Jane, he whispered to himself. Queen Jane. It had a nice ring to it, he thought. Jane would be a kind queen, for one thing. She was well educated, some would even say too well educated for a woman. She was clever, she had backbone, wouldn't let the counselors make all the decisions. She could make a good ruler, an excellent ruler even, in spite of the whole female problem. He allowed himself the sentimentality of picturing Jane in the palace, living in his chambers and taking her meals at his table and reading the books from his library, wearing his crown. So.
He's gonna look good in his crown. Okay, and for me, from Kit Kat, page 322. Not that one, this one. Okay. Gifford shook his head so his mane rubbed across her face. She spat out horsehair, straining to hear anything under the wind of rustling trees and horse teeth grinding grass into gross green pulp. Gross, Gifford.
He can be gross. Again, you know.
Okay. So we thought we'd make each other read something. So we picked pages for one another. So Cynthia, for you, I picked page 144.
Okay. So at one point in the book, Jane writes a fairly long letter to Edward, sort of chastising him, and he reads it over and over after he's kind of been cut off from Jane, we'll say. So Edward sighed. He carefully folded the letter and laid it on the bedside table. Over the past 3 days, he had read Jane's letter no fewer than 100 times, and each time he felt as though she were sitting beside him, chastising him, of course, but there, all the same. He closed his eyes and mentally composed a letter back to Jane. It went something like this. Dearest Jane, sorry I made you marry a horse. Your father-in-law's trying to kill me. Send help.
Awesome.
All right. Brody picked one for me, page 110. Inside Gifford's bedchamber, the clomping paused, and something decidedly wet sounded plopped on the floor. A rank odor came from the room. Unacceptable. Spoiler, it's poop.
Brody picked a poop joke.
Sorry, yes,
what a shock.
And Brody, for you, from Cynthia, page 83.
I love this page.
Okay, this is when Gifford, the king, Edward has told him that he needs to tell Jane that he is a horse every day, and he can't control it. And Gifford, on their wedding night, he's having a really hard time imagining how that conversation is going to go. G took another gulp and thought about the best way to break the equestrian news. My dear, you know those four-legged magical beasts of the land? Well, you married one. No, that could not be the right approach. My sweet, have you ever had a difficult time deciding between man or beast? Well, now you don't have to. Again, he thought better of this tactic. Sweet lady, there are those of us who sleep lying down and those of us who sleep standing up. I can do both. No. You know how some men claim to have another, perhaps hairier side? Have you ever cursed the fact that your loved one has just the 2 legs? Did you know that horses have incredible balance? Hey, what's that over there? And then he would gallop away.
I love that one, though.
So good.
I remember you reading that to us when you first wrote it, and we would just roll away laughing.
We were lots of, crying from laughing.
We think we're so funny. This book was really just to make each other laugh.
We wrote this book just to hang out more.
You're giving away our secrets. This is a serious novel.
It's a serious novel about beheading and true love and
and poop jokes.
and poop jokes. Yes. Oh, I almost had a poop joke on one of my pages that I saw it as we were going through, and it was the one about the moat around the Tower of London.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking of that.
Every time I hear the word moat, all I think about is poop.
And that is what an entire trip to England gave us. Some context about how there used to be poop in the moat of the Tower of London.
And now the grass is very green.